$40, even $60 and $70 back home. And especially when you're talking rush hour pickups and drop-offs, then we're talking 45 minutes to an hour, hour and a half one way. So it started to become really painful. We would talk about 2-hour drives just to get the car dropped off. Plus we're getting charged another $60, $70 from Uber. Turo limits the amount you can charge for pickup to $120. So first of all, who wants to pay a $120 drop-off fee? And second of all, that meant that we basically would lose money even on those pickup fees. So it just became pointless for us to do airport drop-off and pickup stuff, and we eventually just stopped doing it entirely. So if you're going to try and make any sort of money at Turo, you really have to be close to the airport, and you have to make sure that you can do it effectively, getting in and out anytime, day or night. Another thing to remember is Turo is not on your side. Turo is there to make money for Turo. So when we had issues, we contacted Turo support. They did not side in our favor very often. In fact, usually we had to have big arguments. It's absolutely a pain in the butt. So you're talking tons of time on the phone. If you're going to be doing this Turo business, you're going to be on the phone with Turo a lot. Not just even support, but also when you have stupid renters. We've had renters do some really dumb things, and we've had to have long phone calls with Turo to explain situations and make sure that we didn't get our butts kicked by fees or whatever. Stupid things like I've had renters who came in from out of the country and they rented it under the wrong name, and so I legally couldn't let them take the car because then it would be uninsured and blah blah blah. It took me like 3 hours on the phone, and I did all this work, and then the renter takes the car, and it turns out he's a total asshole and abuses the car and complains to me, and actually he damaged the car and all this story. It was just total pain in the butt, and here I spent all this extra time trying to like make the experience good for him. That's another big problem, is you are at the mercy of these reviews from people who are kind of jerks. The majority of our renters were pretty good people, but I think that's more of a function of we were renting high-end cars. So people who are willing to pay $150 to $200 a day typically aren't these low caliber, as they call them in the Turo business, shooter rentals. There's a lot of people in the Turo business that go and they buy a ton of really cheap, like $5,000 to $10,000 cars, and that sounds like misery to me, because the people who want to rent them don't care about the car, and they're going to abuse these cars. They're not going to clean the cars and take poor care of them, and now you have to be constantly running around taking care of these cars, maintaining them, making sure they aren't breaking and whatever. If that sounds like something you want to do, if you want to have a fleet of 30 ship boxes, that's a way you could probably make money in Turo, but then you're a slave to this whole system, and that sounds really miserable. Think about the math behind having 30 cars. If it's just you, you're gonna have to hire some people to take care of them, and that also becomes another one of the big problems. Is if you're gonna try and make money and you have a big fleet, Turo does not have tools to help you effectively if you're a business with multiple cars. And I got a call from my renter, and they destroyed the roof of my Corvette.
No, God! No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Let's take a look at this. Go call them again, have them reimburse my $25, have them do the claim, and all that crap. This is just all sorts of fun. This is the fun and joy of renting your cars in Turo, and why it's so awesome, and all of you should do it. You make so much money.
Poor roof. Way more things could have gone wrong. So the following weekend, I fly back to Michigan and I check out my car. Indeed, there's some trash and it reeks of smoke. So I request on the Turo app for a repair fee of $90 to have the interior detailed to get rid of the smoke smell. Of course, they never paid it. They were gone. They never responded to anything. I gave them a 1-star review. They never reviewed their experience with me. Whatever, they're gone off the face of the planet. Hopefully they're never going to use Turo again, and nobody else will have to go through what I did. But again, I doubt anybody is stupid enough as I was to go through what I did.
Booming sharing economy, it's wonderful. You can start a business so easily. You just gotta download an app and you can be your own business. Postmates, Uber, Turo. We're living in awesome times. Well, my view on a lot of these sort of gig economy jobs are, it's yet another modern example of the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. That's a common phrase, and I think a lot of where that comes from is a system in our society where essentially that happens. Exactly that. You have people that are wealthy who get more wealthy over time and you have people who are not, who seem to be going backwards. But the main thing is the synergy between the two, where the money is actually moving from the poor to the rich. So you have a company like Uber that makes the founder very rich. The people at the top are making tons of money. And meanwhile, you have people who are using the service. They're obviously spending their money, so it's not making them rich. And then you have the people that are actually driving the cars, who, when you look at the net result of the wear and tear in the vehicles, the time spent driving around, the fuel costs, maintenance, I mean, when you add it all up and you look at the lower rates, they keep lowering them lower and lower and lower, you see again another system where rich get richer, poor get poorer. Because the rich are getting richer by, you create this app and it's doing great and you get all this business and all this publicity, and then you have competitors that come in, and then you lower your rates to stay competitive because all you care about is you want to have the biggest network, the most customers, so lower, 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 lower. The drivers don't like it, it's not enough money. Guess what? There's tons of people who will take their spaces because you do the typical classic rich get richer, poor get poorer strategy, where you start off something that is actually really awesome. When Uber started out, it was pretty awesome. You can make $90,000, $100,000, depending on the market, depending on how good you are, how aggressive you are. You could make a lot of money in Uber in the beginning. So you do that, and that is your ultimate marketing strategy, because the word gets out about, man, you can make so much money with Uber. You can make your own hours, and I mean, think about that. You could just get up at any time of the day and decide, I'm gonna go drive around for a few hours, and then you could have the money coming in and making it rain. Yeah, so you get that out there. And it's actually true in the beginning. That's the tactic, right? It's actually true. So drivers will sign up and make good money, and the word spreads, and it's like a gold rush. Everybody wants to get on your app. Yeah, I'm gonna be an Uber driver. They start buying cars and investing in this thing because they're like, this is awesome. I can be my own boss without taking the full risk of like starting a full-on business, because Uber has created this model, and I'm just gonna jump on the train and make that money. Money, 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 money. But that is all a sort of smoke and mirrors. Because once you get all this gold rush thing going on, then you just start squeezing and squeezing and squeezing. So you get all this money coming in from all that business, and then you got the competitor coming in, and then you start lowering your rates so you can stay competitive. We got the cheapest rates, we're the biggest household name, right? And you get everybody just scrambling, trying to sign up. So when you start, and this is a great thing, that image that you have can last a very, very long time. So even as you're lowering the rates, and you're shutting down this gold rush, the gold rush actually still goes on. So even though it's not exciting anymore, even though it's not really something that is really financially viable anymore for most people, the reputation stays. And then it's sort of, again, rich get richer, poor get poorer. So now you are lowering the rates, so compensation is less for the drivers, but you push this idea of how much money they're making, so then the whole concept of tipping kind of goes away as well. Again, poor getting poorer. You're taking away a lot of potential revenue making for these drivers by lowering the rates, and then you're taking even more money away because of this false idea that they're making so much money. So people get in your cars and they think you're making all this money, so why should I tip you? The whole point of Uber is it's cheaper than taxis. It's better, it's cheaper, and more convenient. Why am I gonna tip this guy who's making $90,000 a month? He doesn't have to work a 9-to-5 job. He can just crawl out of his bed at any time and work when he wants, take breaks when he wants to. He's living a life. He doesn't need a tip, you know? So again, it's all set to just squeeze and squeeze. Code word, Aventador. And squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. And I'm not trying to say that people who are driving Uber are necessarily poor, but I will say for a fact that a ton of them are, because it's no longer something that is viable for a majority of people. There's going to be exceptions at all times, but in general, bad business. The way it made sense was with healthy rates of compensation in the beginning. So you could actually get paid. So it made sense, the wear and tear and the insurance and the gas and whatever it is. It made sense because there was money to be made. But now that there isn't really much money to be made and no one's tipping and your car is falling apart, it's bad, squeezing and choking the life out of people who are already, many of them, not doing very well. Then you have people who actually invested in this thing. They actually purchased a car, thought they were going to be doing Uber Black and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, and I know this turned into an Uber video instead of a Turo video, but I don't want to talk about just Turo. I want to talk about the sharing economy and sort of pull the curtains on the nonsense. And exactly what I described is what I've seen a majority of these companies do. I saw it with Udemy. Literally, we had people that were becoming millionaires off of teaching on Udemy, and then they lower the rates and start doing discount stuff and all kinds of nonsense. And now it's just such a mess. But the reputation of all this money still persists. And then, of course, you do have some people, a much smaller fraction of people that actually are doing well. So you combine the myth and the legend of what Udemy used to be, and then some people that are making money still somehow. And then it's like you have a lot of people all trying to sign up. Gold rush, but there is no gold, right? And then you got the scammers who come in, and there's so much stuff going on. Same thing with Turo. That's what Turo, I don't know the history on the compensation, but I'm pretty sure in the beginning it was probably something that may have been pretty decent. Not a lot of competition. The reputation was still pretty good. And maybe the compensation was at its peak, and then everyone's like, wow, I could make money. I got a car sitting in the garage just wasting away. I hardly drive it. I could just rent it out and make some money. I mean, they got insurance, and insurance takes care of it. Well, this is my advice to you. Be very wary of any of these types of gig economy companies. If you're really young, 18, 19, 20, perhaps this is something that makes more sense in that stage of your life. If you're much older than that, you need to look into something else. Start your own business or find a career with a decent amount of potential income that you can live the life that you want to live. That's really the way, unless you want to, some new gig economy deal comes out and you want to jump in when it's early and make a lot of money when it's really good and then hop off before everything falls apart. That could be your strategy. You could be a serial gig economy-er, whatever you call it, and just hop from gig economy to gig economy. But I mean, what do you do in between What do you do in between while you're waiting for the next big thing? How are you gonna make money then? So I don't know if that's really a good strategy, but perhaps if that works for you, then go ahead and do that. Otherwise, I recommend that you go to the channels. I'm gonna link the videos in this video. Watch the full video, especially the guy in the beginning that had the Corvette and the Ferrari, because he gives a really good in-depth, like, what his experience was like. The guy seems pretty sharp. He actually, if I'm not mistaken, is an out-of-work executive. So he was like a CTO or something like that. So the guy, he's no dummy. And I think his business background, business mindset is perfect for being able to make a real good, honest evaluation of Turo's potential in today's market. And additionally, he really went hardcore. I believe he partnered with somebody else. He bought a whole bunch of cars. So he didn't just dabble and like, oh, I could rent out this. No, he took it pretty seriously, did some serious analysis and projections. Sounds kind of like me with my real estate stuff. I mean, it's in general. I'm Mr. Spreadsheet. You can call me Mr. Spreadsheet, because I'm always working on spreadsheets. Always doing projections and analysis, all kinds of stuff. Like right now, when I'm done with this video, I'm gonna be working on some analysis on some property. One of the first deals that I'm working on in the Caribbean. The beach house is happening. So I got to look at the profit potential and all this mumbo jumbo. Otherwise, I could be a victim of the stuff that I'm trying to save you guys from being a victim of, because I'm looking to do the Airbnb thing, But Airbnb sounds like another gig economy type of deal. But the thing about it is, I'm not fully setting myself up get into that business. I'm going to give it a try. If it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, no big deal, because I can just do traditional, just go long-term rentals. One thing you can be guaranteed of is people are always going to need places to stay. We're not getting any more land. New constructions are not exactly very high in most areas. So if you're looking to invest in something, I would say real estate. Now the whole flipping stuff, we'll talk about that in future videos. But as far as rental income, getting a property and renting it out, I think that's a much better deal than trying to do Uber or Turo or Postmates. Oh my goodness. Rich get richer, poor get poorer. I would like to invite you to the Rich Get Richer Club. So you're gonna need to change your decisions and change your mindset. Get away from getting caught up in the schemes of the rich who are trying to get your money, right? Don't let the rich get your money. You need to get your money, right? You need to get paid. And I know that's the idea when you sign up for these things. You're like, I'm going to get paid and I'm doing my own thing, but it's not your own thing. It's their thing, right? It's all about them, not about you. You are nothing but a cog in the machine. You are expendable, replaceable, really, really low value in pretty much most or all of these types of companies. So do your own thing. Start your own business or get into a high-paying career. What careers can I get into that are high-paying? You ever heard of this website called Google.com? If you can't take the initiative to do your own research to find out what high-paying jobs are and do an analysis and figure out what you're good at and try to connect your skill set and your assets with a career that's a good match, and go ahead and put in the hard work and figure it out. Don't get caught up in college debt and all this kind of stuff. If you got to go buy the books, if you got to go take online courses, self-taught, whatever it takes. If you don't have the initiative to do that, then that's on you. Success is not easy. So if you want the easy route, then stay broke. Right? Stay broke, stay poor. Keep giving your money to the rich and helping them get richer. But if you want to join the Rich Getting Richer Club, then you need to build something. Build a business, build a career, but you also need to sacrifice, just like pretty much everyone else, except for the very tiny fraction who were born with a silver spoon in their mouths, like Donald Trump. Most of us, we bled and sweat and bled and sweat and bled and sweat some more our success. And even after that, most of us don't get to take a break. Keep on pressing and pushing and growing and learning. It is not easy. You want the money, you want the success, you got to put the hard work in. You just got to man up, woman up, and step up. Because some people will go and they'll man up and do work for a couple years. I worked so hard for 2 years straight and I didn't get anywhere. And then you slack off, and then you never ever put that effort again. And you leave this earth never ever achieving your goals. You got one life to live. This is a single journey that you're going through of your life. Get count and accept the fact that if you want to be really successful, make the sacrifice. You've got to put the hard work in. Why are you going to get the money without the sacrifice when there's so many other people that want to make that money too? You're going to get it. You want to make more money doing the same level of work as most people. If you're doing what most people are doing, then you're going to be like most people. Most people in this country cannot afford a random $500, $1,000, $2,000 would ruin most people in this country. So if you want to be like most people, which is like that, then follow what most people are doing. All you got to do is go to a fancy college and get a degree, and then you're going to make all this money, right? Hang out, goofing around with your friends, do your job, go home, relax, watch some TV, go to the movies, spend all day on YouTube. Be like most. You're going to act like most. You're going to get the results of most. I'm not happy with that. So I put in a sacrifice, and I continue to do so. And if you want the rewards, you got to do so too. No excuses. Just get it done. This is Carlisle's Picks. If you enjoyed this episode, click on the like button, subscribe, and smash that bell. Okay, I'm not going to do opera. Just smash the bell, subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Until the next episode, be well.